This is the Healing Hour, and we're with you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing and energy healing, talk about moon signs, astrology, what's up with the stars, what's up with planet Earth, and hopefully what's up in your life, because this is your show. You need to phone in so we can help you get from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest amount of time. The toll-free number, it should be on your screen. It's 1-866-369-7464. And here's my lovely co-host, Kory Varlen, the master astrologer herself, with her window wide open. I thought you were closing your window.
I did close it, Tyson.
Oh, you did? Well, but you never know that.
I did close it. Well, I have double windows because I live in very cold Edmonton, which gets to -40 in February and March. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's crazy. But I have some very noisy birds outside. They've taken over the street, so I have to shut the windows when I'm on Zoom and Skype calls. So how you doing, my friend?
I am doing. Yeah, it's been really quite a day of transformation and change. It must have been the stars. I had a little stint this morning, through it and stamped my foot, and didn't want to play in the sandbox anymore, and was ready to throw everybody else out of the sandbox and just go and pout in the corner. But I think I'm through it yet. My new mantra is nothing. I am okay with everything that shows up, and then of course something showed up that I wasn't okay with, so I got tested right away. So be careful what you ask for.
Well, you are just so in tune, my friend, because today the planet Mercury has moved out of Virgo and has now entered Libra.
Oh, my lovely Libra.
So Mercury is the ruler of Virgo and Gemini, and Mercury is about our mental state. And when it moves into Libra, because it's joining Venus, it really wants things to be fair. It wants things to be cooperative. And it's a great time to look at how you play the game of life. And if things aren't, copacetic, someone's gonna feel the need to straighten the people out. So that's the Mercury just moving into Libra today. And so we're all gonna feel this, and it sounds like you have already.
Well, I did, and to the nth extent. I haven't sort of blown all my fuses right across the board quite like that for a while, in a real big snit, and then having to get over it. But I've warned people around me that my first answer to everything is no, and then as a Libra I have to think about it, and then usually it becomes a yes. But yeah, what you were stating this morning was exactly, this isn't fair in the sign box. These rules are not fair, and so that's what got me upset. But anyway, it's time to grow up.
Well, when any planet crosses what we call the equinox points, which are 0, of Aries and 0 degrees of Libra, those are the equinox points. The solstice points are the ones in the summer,
right.
when we begin the summer and then the winter. But when we hit that first degree of Aries or Libra, I've really noticed this, and it's a real truism. We say that the personal is political and the political is personal. Wow. And it's like you can take really big issues and it's like they really hit home. So that's happening for anyone who can pick up on that vibe today, for everybody, because Mercury has just crossed that solstice point at 0 Libra.
Wow. And so why is it a solstice point? Explain to me. Maybe you did and I didn't get it. So.
Well, the solstice points and the equinox points are the 4 basic quadrature points when we watch the sun across the sky. So when we have the first day of spring, that's the spring equinox.
Yeah.
And then when we have the first day of fall, that's the fall equinox. And so that particular point in the sky, the fall equinox, is at 0 degrees of Libra. So when the sign of Libra starts, that's the beginning of fall, right? And so when any planet moves over that degree, it's highly charged to want to seek balance, right? Because that's what the fall is all about, right?
Yeah.
Like we come into balance in the fall.
Fruition.
Fall is a beautiful time, right? Because people start getting sentimental. They know that summer is over. They know that winter is coming. And they start to get really kind of contemplative.
Welcome to the show. And who are we talking to?
How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Hello, yeah, how are you? Fine.
I'm fine. And so do you have a question for us on the show today?
Yes. I want to know how far I have no career.
You want to know what?
What is my career now after a month of 6 weeks? Can you tell me that?
Okay.
Can you clear the clearing process?
Oh, the clearing process. You want to know what the next step in your clearing process is?
Yes. Yes.
You need to book a 15-minute call with me after the show, and I'll go through the numbers for you and we'll see where you are. But I could just check your field right now. So let me do that quickly and see where you are. So on a scale of 0 to 100, with 100 being you're fully in your body and got everything under control, you're way up there. So let me just count it out. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, only doing 10% more to get you fully grounded and in your body. You're doing the work and getting the results. So I would say you're just about ready to turn the last page and in red, start doing the short clearing. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, good job.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
How many days have you been doing this?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. See, you're getting really good results. Congratulations. All right, keep up the good work.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye for now.
Yeah.
So if you're on the show and wondering what was that all about, that's the deep clearing protocol, which I highly recommend people do from 21 days straight all the way through to 60. 21 days to clear your physical and 60 days to clear your spiritual. So you're clearing the auras as you go out. And yeah, that's 90% done. And I can't remember how many days she said, but good work. There you are. She's becoming a sovereign human being. And what does that mean? It just means that you become ineffable, but you can use the F for another word. What would you say? Impeccable is another way you could say it. You just don't get knocked off center. Let's leave it at that, okay? You're standing in your truth no matter what. All right, back over to you, Kory. So we're at the 0 point in transit. It's 0 Libra. Mercury is showing up and giving everybody a good boot in the butt. And that's just everybody, right? All the signs.
I like that. Yes. It's basically just signaling for all of us. Again, it's sort of a balance issue. So Libra is about balance. Libra is about trying to find between 0 and 10, trying to find that fulcrum point around 5, 6.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you do that, you'll just notice that what happens is because Mercury is so mental and Libra is so emotional, what happens when Mercury, especially Mercury moves into Libra, your sign, Tyson.
Yes, my sign.
When Mercury hits the Libra territory, people really have a really good chance of melding, you know, their ideology with their heart and their sentimentality. And as you know, we can all get, you know, crazy off the scale in both of those departments, right?
Right, yeah.
And so when Mercury hits Libra, it's a chance for all of us to tune in to what I call the deep now. And I'm going to be talking a lot about this, especially later on when we get our show going for subscribers only, because I really focus a lot on the deep now, which is like, let's just take care of what's happening right now. And your life will just, you know, it'll just flow beautifully. But you have to take care of the now, the deep now. And the deep now is a really wonderful place where we are, because there's a really powerful alignment today with Venus and Pluto. And that combination really wants us to go deep. Yeah,
well, I went deep. Yeah, and obviously I need to take my shovel along with me to dig my way out. But there's a lot of poo down there. Yeah. So
what I like today is there's a lovely blending of what I call optimism and confidence. And so if you can project that energy of optimism and confidence, you will literally start drawing to you, just like a magnet, what it is that your heart and your mind desire.
Sounds like manifestation. So something really clear. So this is the time when at this 0 point where we can actually, because it's 0, the 0 point is no time, no space. That means we can manifest anything into reality if we are one with all that is in that 0 point. So yeah, that makes perfect sense, right? So the astrology is reminding us to be in that 0 point inside of our hearts, where we can then bring our emotions and our intellect together, and what we think and speak can be manifested into reality.
And what I love about today is that we're in the 3rd quarter of the moon cycle now. So we've gone through the new moon, the 1st quarter, we've had the full moon. Remember how beautiful the full moon was last week?
Amazing. Just amazing.
Wasn't it gorgeous? Yeah. Gorgeous. So now we're in the last quarter. So we're we're counting down now. We've got about 7 days to go till the next new moon starts the cycle all over again.
Yeah.
And so we're in the last quarter, and I love this time because, first of all, I was born in the last quarter of the moon. So I'm in my power cycle right now. So listen up, everybody. I really do feel confident today.
Well, good for you.
But the last quarter is almost a kind of an inner journey kind of energy. It's kind of contemplative, and it's a time to restructure things. It's like the full moon shows you where you're at,
Yeah.
and what's lacking in your life. Because if you don't get that promotion, or you didn't get what you wanted in the last 5-6 days, well, you got to do some work now. Because first of all, as you know, we're in the time of Virgo, which, remember last week I talked about, it's all about work.
Work, work, work.
And getting yourself organized so your routines are more productive. Now we're in the last quarter phase of the moon, which says it's time for inner work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Outer explosions and inner work. Yeah. Well, the only thing that can, and talking with the client this morning, the only fear that really exists is the fear inside of our hearts, right? So it is all inner work, isn't it? I mean, coming to 0 point in tranquility, it's got nothing to do with what's happening in the world. It has everything to do with what's going on inside of ourselves.
Yes, and the outer world is important because we live in a material, physical world, and it's a great school of, like they say, the school of hard knocks, life lessons. We wouldn't have the spiritual awarenesses we have if it wasn't for the fact that we live in a physical environment that really shows us how valuable our spiritual beliefs actually are. Like, are we just talking the talk, or are we walking the walk?
Yeah, and that's what I found out this morning, right? Is I can say one thing and believe it, but when push comes to rub, then can I stand in that truth and deliver that from my heart? In other words, will I become unshakable? And it really does what it's all about, right? The outer world is just our testing grounds to see how we're doing spiritually on the inner work realms. Are we being able to, like you say, walk our talk or not?
Yeah, and we need both, because as all great mystics have said, we live in a world of duality. Good, bad, top, bottom, hell, heaven, you name it, right, left. It's all about duality. And I love the time of Libra, Tyson, because it really gets us into this framework where we can really see that duality, and it forces you to get to that fulcrum where
totally. That's 0 point.
You're not pulled, to the extremes in either direction.
Yeah, and there's that 0 point, that balance that we're talking about that's so critical that Mercury is highlighting right now. There's the balance point. Are you there or not? And if you're not, you're going to have a nice experience to hopefully get you back there.
Yes.
Well, I think, and I don't want to get too Christian too quickly because, but there is the cross, right? It's the same thing. It's the physical and the spiritual coming together in the center. And, do you want to hang around on the cross or do you want to figure this out, really? So that's your testing grounds. That's where the two dimensions come together in the 0 point. And when you can be neutral, I don't mean neutral cold, don't give a darn. I mean neutral, passionately engaged with everything around you, but not traumatized, not overwhelmed, not knocked off center, then real things can begin to manifest in your life, right? Things that are quite magical, or some people would say are magical, right? Lots of synchronicity.
Well, I've been using a different word lately. I've been using the word sacred a lot instead of magical, because magical often has a lot of implications that go back to like Aleister Crowley and, some really weird, voodoo kind of crazy, stuff that people are into. And, God bless them, whatever you're into, if it's working for you. But I love the concept of sacredness.
Yeah, but I have to disagree a little bit. I mean, I know where you're going, but really it is invocation. It's no different than Aleister Crowley. He was just on the flip side of the agenda. If you don't invoke, if you don't order your pizza, it's not going to be delivered. So you have to do invocation. That's what manifestation is all about. So I think it's really important to be clear. I love the concept of invocation. I love the concept of magic. I like the concept of manifesting something into creation, not by forcing the world to confine to your idea, like bringing a demon forth, like Aleister Crowley, but working co-creatively with the forces of nature to manifest something that's in harmony with all the dimensions and watch it manifest into your life. To me, that's really exciting. That's the Hierophant.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And I also love the fact that like magic is definitely out there in the world. However, in my life experience, and I've been around the planet now for a few decades, the word magic is often associated with stuff like leprechauns and fairies and goblins. And
oh, good. Let's have more of them.
You know, as opposed to sacred, which seems to me it has a longer tradition of really being rooted, you know, in the earth and in, you know, all of the goddess religions and, you know, the religions that predate Christianity. There was just such a wonderful theme of sacredness that ran through all those mystery cults. And so for me, it's just a word I'm starting to really
I love sacred too. I mean, we talk about the sacred shoe shop here and doing actually guided tours to understand that the landscape is a living entity and as above, so below. So where it has a heart chakra, we have a heart chakra. It has a place of birth and a place of death. You know, it has all the physical attributes that we have. And some of them, like our own bodies, if not tuned into and worked with co-creatively, are not operating as well as they could. So the physiology of where you live could be brought up to a higher dimensional awareness by co-creating and working with it. But to do that, we have to work with the elementals, which are the fairies and the goblins and the dragons and the wizards. And, you know, those are the things that I like because they're all real, right? They're names for energies that are super powerful that when humans pay attention, they go, oh, somebody paying attention to me. Oh, well, let's get to work. So,
and you hit the nail on the head there, Tyson, because what you just said there is that it's real for you. Right? Yeah. But for a lot of people, it isn't. For a lot of people, you know, goblins and wizards and elves, that's just like out there in woo-woo land, you know?
They better come and join me.
Yeah, but for people like, I guess, you and I, who've been around the block a few times, like we have a different take on that reality.
Well, that's true. I mean, my favorite course to teach is, you know, Earth Wisdom Geomancy, which is the earth energies and how human trauma gets locked into the earth and how you work with the elemental forces and the angelic forces to release that trauma. So that's the triune co-creation relationship that really, to me, is about eco-spiritual, you know, stewardship. This is what we're here. We're the brains of the planet. We're here to help steward all of life, right? And not just rape and pillage and take and make a lot of money and say that the earth is dead and we don't really care. We can just abuse her, like rape and pillage. So yeah, so that's what I like to is inspire people that if you need to reconnect with nature, otherwise you're losing your inner nature, right?
Yeah.
So there you are.
I agree.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about some of the effects that the moon is having on everybody today.
All right, well, I know what it's happened on me. Well, let's find out about others.
Well, again, this is just a little taste.
Yeah.
But I'm wanting to tell people, truly, like if you have never had your chart done, you're going to find this information very helpful, especially if you know what's called your rising sign, like the ascendant in your chart. And the little tidbits I'm going to offer today are related to your rising sign, not your sun sign. So like I think you know, Tyson, you're you're a Libran, but you have a Sagittarian ascendant. So right. You have to wait till I talk about Sagittarius.
All right, I'll be patient.
Okay. So if you have an Aries ascendant, the tip I want to give you for today is that you need to probably do some work with your family, especially if you have siblings. It's a great day to get some inspiration happening in that part of your life. So that's just my little tip for today and tomorrow. And then if you're a Leo, if you have a Leo ascendant, the highlight is what you're doing with your friends. So, you know, if you've been socially isolating, you got to call somebody today. You've got to really try to hook up with some of your friends that you haven't seen for a while. It's really important to do that today and tomorrow. And the last fire sign is Sagittarius. So if you have a Sag ascendant like you do, Tyson, it's really important that you work with a partner, that you work with someone that you consider on partner level to bring some clarity into your life.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the fire sign. It's kind of like if I had to say there was a pop quiz, I'd probably want to know on Wednesday how you did with this cosmic pop quiz, because the universe wants you to pay attention to those areas that I've just elucidated.
Yeah, I think that's what you just said for me is very, very helpful and very insightful. I think that's how I got out of the sandbox, was realizing that there was somebody that could match that energy.
Yeah,
On the
and
feminine side.
that's a key word. That's why I said like on a partnership level.
Yeah, you partner.
So be it, romantic or business, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Like if you treat someone like on a one-to-one, egalitarian, so Libran level, you're doing the work. Okay, let's look at the earth signs. If you have a Taurus ascendant, today's a great day to be making some money.
Ooh.
So today and tomorrow, if you have a Taurus ascendant, you'll be making more money. Just look around, and if it hasn't come in yet, check your bank account. In fact, it's so cool because tomorrow's the 31st, so everybody should be getting some money coming in, especially if you're on any kind of federal program. So Tauruses are going to hit the jackpot today and tomorrow, and Virgos are having, I would say, just keep on. It's a great time. This is the time of Virgo, right? The sun's moving through the sign of Virgo. It does that from August 22nd to September 22nd. So today and tomorrow is a good time for you guys to be doing something involving with your career.
Mm.
So maybe someone's going to call you up, offer you a contract or a job or an administrative position, something to do with maybe the government. That could be happening for Virgos today and tomorrow. And if you're a Capricorn, if you have a Capricorn ascendant, the focus today should be on your health and what you're doing to make your health better. So everybody listening who have Capricorn rising, get to work on making yourself as healthy as you can. And if that means whatever it means for you, just make your health priority today and tomorrow. So I think we'll just take a break, and then I'll do the other 6 signs a little later on, Tyson.
All right. You're going to keep everybody else in suspense, right?
Well, I'll just give my vocal cords a break and give you a chance to chat.
Oh, well, you mean I have to say something brilliant now?
Yes, you do.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, I'm excited by the fact that you and I are going to do the show in a different way. And so we really want to offer more through this show on the personal level, so that when you join us, particularly in the backstage pass, or whatever we call the inner group, which means you're going to have to join us on Zoom, there'll be certain goodies that we can offer because we're very talented in the areas of our expertise, and we'd like to have somebody experience that. And not only that we would like somebody to experience that, we want to be able to demonstrate to others listening to this show just how powerful it is to have either a reading or a session with either one of us or both of us together. So that's what the way the show is going to go. And in order for you to pay to play, there'll be a small fee in which you'll be paying in order to join us in the inner sanctum, so to speak. And you need to be on the show and in the Zoom room for you to be chosen. And we will choose somebody from that room to do the next. We're thinking, and we haven't figured it all out, but most likely it will be freewheeling. You can phone in the first half hour and ask us anything and everything about what we're doing and our expertise, and we'll answer your questions. But in the last half, we're going to be choosing somebody in the inner room to do some deep work with. Everybody gets to listen, but you could only be chosen if you're in the inner group. So that's about as far as we've got. We're quite excited about it because we get to play in multiple levels, right? Not just. So what do you have to say about that, Kory? Am I hitting a bit nail?
Oh, absolutely. And I just, I know if I was listening, I'd want to join like right now.
Yeah.
Because I know what my work is worth, and I know what your work is worth. And sometimes, after a session of an hour with a client, You know, even if they take away like one idea, they'll say, oh, God, that was just so worth it, you know. So they paid $160 for a natal chart reading, and they walk away with this one key idea. And then I also do like you, I don't know, sorry, I don't know if you do this, but I do healing sessions also. And when I think, again, sometimes people will just walk away from a healing session with one technique I've offered them. And when I think we're going to be giving that out, Tyson, that
Yeah.
combination of meeting you to like a subscriber who might, you know, well, we haven't figured out what our monthly, what the subscription will be, but it truly is going to be so valuable. It's just going to be
Yeah.
so worth it.
Yeah, well, the value will be at least $250. And by the way, mine's in US. So I charge $125 US for half hour, right? So
Wow.
I don't know what that is in Canadian.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's we're way up there. It's over $250 worth of value, so to speak, in what you're going to be receiving in that 1/2 hour.
Yeah, well, I actually would put it at 300 because between an astrology session and a healing session, that'll be $300.
Right.
And to think that someone could be listening and then we could just pour our love and energy into this one particular person for what, even 5 minutes. My Lord, I mean, getting zapped for 5 minutes.
We're
they'll
gonna
walk
bust
away.
you loose. We're gonna bust you loose.
They'll just walk away. I mean, they'll be flying away from the contact with us.
They'll have stars in their eyes, right?
Hey, and you know what? The kind of thing that I like to do is absolutely guarantee the fact that, you know, if you guys don't enjoy what we're doing, we'll give you your money back. It's like, you know, whatever our subscription is, and if you decide you don't want to play with us anymore, I'm happy to, you know, give you your money back if you don't think you're getting value for, you know, for what you paid.
Well, I don't know about that. I would say double or nothing.
I'd
I'd want you to do another round because obviously you need to do some more work because we haven't got you doing what you need to do. So I don't know. I'd say double or nothing.
Well, I'm
you
a
gotta
Taurus,
give us one more kick of the can, right?
I believe in giving people, you know, a knockout punch at the beginning. I don't mean to flatten you, but I mean to impress you. And so far, no one's ever asked for their money back.
Well, there you are. So that's another way of looking at it. We say we will do it, but we never have had to actually do it. So there you are, because we're too damn good, right?
Well, you know, you get to a point in your life where you just have to acknowledge that you put in the work. I've paid thousands and thousands of dollars, I'm sure, like you have, for your personal development. And I've got 2 university degrees, if that means anything.
Well, I have 2 as well. I can match it 2 for 2.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I've done the work. You know, my brain, my neurons usually work pretty good still at this stage of my life. But I think even more important, what I want to share with everybody is my heart is totally open, and it's really here, like you, Tyson, you know, to help move the planet along and all of us on it.
Yeah, it really is not what it's about. Yeah, we work with you personally, but you know, according to the Dow, you know, when we get you clear, that's 165,000 for other souls that go clear. So why wouldn't we want to do this? I think in the multiplier effect that has, we all get to live on a more humane, beneficial planet by the work that we're called to do. So, and if we can actually train you how to do it, like I like to train people how to do my methodology, you are going to go forth and do that for other people. So now we have this, you know, multiplier effect. Yeah. So that's what I like to do. I like to help people become sovereign human beings, then turn around and help others become sovereign human beings.
And one of the beauties of today is that there is a distinct thread running through the cosmos today that will help anyone increase their communication abilities today if they want to focus on that. If there's anything you take away from today's show, apart from the fact that I said that Mercury has hit the equinox point at 00 of Libra, and the personal is political, you really have an opportunity today to work on your communication skills. So when I was saying about Aries, you know, to call, you know, one of their siblings and talk to them.
Now's the time.
I mean, we could all end up doing something like that. But it really is a great day for, again, trying to find that fulcrum in your life that, you know, that helps you find a state of balance, you know, between the extremes that we're so prone to move back and forth between.
Yeah, just to let you know, we're at half hour into the show, so this is the time where we'd stop talking, and this would be the time we'd be going to the inner sanctum to choose our guests to do the inner work. So stay tuned. We should have this whole methodology up and running very shortly, and get ready. We'll be able to bring you into the Wellness Academy and be able to subscribe as a member of this show. It doesn't mean that you can't join us and phone in for free, but it does mean that if you want to be part of the inner group, you got to put some money. You got to pay to play. Put some
Yes, you
money
do.
on the table.
You have to pay to play.
Yeah. So there you are. That's the new turning point that we're going to be going to very, very soon. I'm very excited about that because we get to play together, demonstrating what we do and helping somebody go clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, the other thing too is we're going to be able to communicate. We are going to create a community, Tyson.
Yeah.
We'll create a community of people online that will just build and build and become even more and more powerful. And that is absolutely so important now because we have to be thinking about this. We have to be thinking about our communities. Like we just can't be doing it for ourselves anymore.
No,
we have to be
absolutely.
finding like-minded people.
Absolutely. This is not the time of the lone wolf. The time of the lone wolf is well gone. This is the time. Look, if we look at what's happening in the world around us, the power comes from those that have an agenda that have agreed to work together. Okay, us on the spiritual level or whatever new agers or whatever buzzwords you want to use can't get our collective blankety blank together for the life of us. We don't know how to do that yet. So one of the preliminaries is learning how to live with a group. What I mean by living with a group, I don't mean having to share the same bathroom, although that's the biggest test yet. If you really want to know how your buttons are pushed, live cooperatively with a group of people. But what I'm talking about is a group of like-minded people. That group will have the power to transform each individual in the group. And of course, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And of course, when 12 around 1 happens, then magic really, well, I'd use that word again. What's the word I'm supposed to use instead of magic?
Sacred.
What?
Sacred.
Oh, the sacred happens. Yeah. The divine comes through and plays with you. All right, there you are. Boy, I just got caught up there. So, yeah, and if that's something that you say that you relate to around 12 around 1, then head over to the Academy and look up under workshops and you'll find the Gathering of the Eagles, which will be teaching how to do 12 around 1, right? Because certain transformation happens with the magic of sacred geometry, right? So
and there's another element right now that's happening with Mercury crossing that equinox point, and that is it's stimulating. It's like the universe is. Imagine it's like a harp, and it's playing one of the strings that's called universal love today.
Wow, I love that.
And so all of us feel this. If you really do, just quieten down, take a few moments, do some of that nostril breathing I taught you guys how to do.
You better teach us again.
Just tune into that place of universal love because it's there. It's like, you know, we're all like a radio. You just have to start tuning in these channels. And when you let your brain work, which is basically like a radio, and tune into this broadcast, you will feel today universal love.
So what you're saying is tune into the astrological broadcasting station from Cosmic Central, and you'll get the vibrational energy you need for this day. And when you're in sympathetic harmony with it, it'll just become second nature. And you'll say, oh, that's why this can, I'm going to use the word manifest. No, this is the way things can become sacred in your daily life, right?
Well, you know, I was just reading a book and I really recommend it to everybody. It's called Recapture the Rapture. And it's an amazing book. And it was written by the same guy who wrote Stealing Fire, which was on the New York Times bestseller list for like a year. And in it, he talked about the global positioning system, right? The GPS.
Yeah.
And he said that there's even something better. And I just love it. And I'm going to steal this from him because he wrote a book called Stealing Fire. So he talked about the CPS, which is called the Cosmic Positioning System.
Uh-huh.
And don't you just gotta love it? So we're
I
going from
do.
GPS, which is so like mundane and like on the physical, to CPS, which is the Cosmic Positioning System. And that really feeds into the work I've done with my research into the basic rhythms behind every day and what I used to call the cosmic. Remember the cosmic algorithm?
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling really comfortable in saying, forget that GPS. You got to get the cards because it's your CPS.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that your GPS is really is your intuition. So that's what I teach people, right?
Yeah. But I love the cosmic positioning system, the CPS.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
just
that that's
really
great.
fits. It's like, yes. And today of all days, it's just so perfect because today really you can get the universal love by tuning in to the CPS, the Cosmic Positioning System.
So yeah, so you've been talking about it, people getting these cards, so you better put a plug in for your cards. So I mean, I'm not asking you to read the cards, although I'd love for you to do that. But you could hold them up and tell people what you're talking about, right?
All right. All right, Tyson. All right. So now we're in the Virgo deck. So I've got 12 decks. I've got a deck for every zodiac time. So there's 12 zodiac time periods. So the idea is you get all 12 decks and they come, you buy them individually. So you buy them Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Some people just buy, like you're a Libran. So some people think, oh, I just have to buy the Libran deck. Well, that's for you. You can start with the Libran deck, but the Libran deck is for the Libra time.
Right.
If you want help in terms of the cosmic positioning system, what's going on, like right now, you have to get the Virgo deck because we're in the time of Virgo. So here's today's card, August 30th. And here, my friends, is the CPS, the Cosmic Positioning System algorithm for the day.
Wow. Look at that. Wow, conviction.
So what this means is you get up in the morning and you get your button gear and you go, all right, I've got to be a little more dynamic today because that's the cosmic algorithm. That's the cosmic positioning system. And when you know that, you don't have to be floundering around wondering, what the hell am I going to do today? You know what you're going to have to do today.
You know, the exciting thing about
what you could do today.
The exciting thing behind this is that there's so much information on each day as how sacred it is. So, for example, there is an angel for every day of the year, and there's an angel for every day of the moon cycle. And if you subscribe to that, which I have, and I can say there's so much information in the name of each angel that I could spend the whole day just focused on that card and I would never ever, or that reading, and I'd never get to the end of it. That's how much information there is in every angel transmission for every day. So, and there's sacred geometry for every day as well. So the exciting thing is that there's so much, I don't know what the quote is, there's more to this world, somebody than meets the eyes from Shaker. I don't know which the dude he was talking about, but there's so many multiple levels of cosmic influence that are ready and willing to work with us if we just tune in. And what you're saying is if you know of the energy of today and you attune to it, your day is going to flow much easier with gentle.
Yes, absolutely. And tomorrow, it's like, why would tomorrow be any different than today? It's
exactly.
Like if you're in the flow today, no reason why tomorrow won't be in the flow, and the day after that. But you don't have to worry about all that. You just have to stay in the deep now. And the deep now is now. It's not about what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow. And that's why I developed my cards, Tyson, because I'm a Taurus. I like things simple. I like to roll around in the grass. I don't like to smoke it. I like to roll in it. And Tauruses are a lot like Virgos. We don't like the bullshit. We really don't. We kind of know when people are pulling our strings. And why I developed the cards was for myself, so that I had a really good sense of like the wisdom of the day. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, like you were saying, there's so much information out there. Like we are sinking in a sea of information that we're not doing anything with it. We're not really letting the wisdom come through. We're
Yeah,
getting
we're
too
not,
much, on the superficial.
yeah, we're
So,
intellectualizing too much. We're not
yeah,
doing, we're not
no,
internalizing it.
no,
And what you're saying,
we're not getting to the sacredness of what this information is trying to communicate to us. And so what my cards do very simply is it's just like a funnel. It just filters down the multiple layers of information into one key concept. How much simpler can it get, Tyson? It's one freaking word.
right. So that's the magic for the day.
That's the magic. That's the sacredness. One word. And however you play with it, I don't care what you do with it, like,
But do it.
but just somehow let that, like coffee, let that just filter through you and see what happens. It's like,
Yeah, and who doesn't start their day? Well, I mean, some people don't start their day with coffee, but starting your day with a good jolt of awakening is good, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely. And I actually have so many clients who are so busy and they've got my cards and they say, like it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and they're turning over my card of the day. And it's like, holy crap. It's like, that's what today was all about. And they realize it at 10, 11 o'clock at night instead of maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning.
right. So this is really like a coffee morning ritual then, right? The card of the day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You have to have the card. In fact, I pull the card out before I go to sleep for the next day.
Well, that's smart. And then you can dream about it.
Yeah. And when I wake up, I'm ready to go. Cause yeah, I've already, my dream body's already been
Doing it.
doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so right on the dot of 12 midnight, you're into the new card, right?
Yes. So before you go to bed, flip over the card for the next day and let your dream body take you to where it's going to take you. And then when you get up in the morning, you have a very, very, clear path there. And it's up to you to follow it or not.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So many people say, oh, like if I'd only known, if I only knew. Well, you do now.
Yeah. Well, have you ever, it's a crazy idea, but have you ever used them as a divination?
Well, my whole life is divination. So yes.
No, I mean, but have you ever developed that as like, okay, is there a card for what's showing up in my face right now, for example?
Well, that's the card of the day.
Okay. All right. So then you just say, no, this is the card of the day. And if you want to know what yesterday was, you can read yesterday. It's a little late, but if you want to know what that was all about, right?
Well, because my cards encompass 366 days because of leap year, the card before today, which would have been the 29th, and the card for tomorrow is already impinging on us.
Right. So it really, when you're going to dream state, it's already working because there's a crossover between the days. Got it. Yeah.
In fact, if you want, you can do a 3-card spread, like a tarot spread. You can have yesterday's, today's, and tomorrow's card.
Well, see, that's what I was getting at.
Visible.
Okay. All right. Okay. You got it. Yeah.
We got it. Gotcha, Tyson. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And that I love doing a 3-card spread because I'll look at yesterday and I'll go, yeah, that really fit. And then I'll look at tomorrow's and I'll go, yeah, like for what I know about what I've got planned for tomorrow, I could see that really working.
Or maybe I should adjust what I was going to do tomorrow.
Exactly. Like I was going to have a really busy day on Saturday, and the card for Saturday was all about surrendering. And so I just chilled out and I just let a lot of things go. And I just said, no, today's the day for surrendering and peace.
Shit, I missed that card.
Incredible, tranquil Saturday.
I missed that card, that's for sure. Where was that deck in my life?
Well, and maybe you had it yesterday. Maybe it spilled over. Well, because today's Monday, so maybe Saturday's card spilled over into Sunday, or maybe you had it on Friday.
Good luck with that one. I guess I better get the cards. I better see what's in the cards.
Well, I just love them. They just work for me. And like I said, I designed them for myself. I designed something that I could live with and that would keep me on the straight and narrow. And it does.
Well, we've been busy talking around here. We still have a few minutes to go, 14 minutes. And, you know, this is your show, believe it or not. You know, we can rattle on here forever and have a good time, but you can phone in toll free and we can help you, you know, clear whatever is in your way or have a good chat. Or so the full free number is in front of you. It's 1-866-369-7464. Numbers on the screen. Don't forget, you come in internationally through WhatsApp. It's my cell phone. It's 1 for Canada. 250-803-2480. I don't know if we have a card for that, but that, you know, more and more people are using WhatsApp. So sort of funny, you know, all the people are saying to me, well, I'm very seldom on Facebook. Can I have your WhatsApp number? Yeah, but I'm never on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is after work. If you want to get hold of me, it's on Facebook. Not because I like Facebook, because that's where my business is. But it's interesting. The next generation, no, I don't know if it's the next generation, but all the 30s and 40s, they don't want to be talking on Messenger. They want to be talking on WhatsApp. So it's really quite interesting how there's a shift in, you know, how people want to communicate. Sort of like part of the, okay, here's somebody coming in. Hello, Tyhson. Hello, hello.
Yes, good
Good afternoon, Valerie. How are you?
afternoon.
That's good. I can hardly hear you. I don't know why.
Oh, I don't know why.
I don't know why
Can you hear
either.
me now?
Yeah, sort of. All right, what's up in your life?
Oh, hornet,
What did you say?
hornet.
Hornet? I didn't hear it.
Lots of hornets.
Oh, hornets in your life. Oh, yeah, it is that time of year where we have lots of wasps and hornets. Yeah. So what are you doing about it?
Try to spray them.
Oh, well, then you're in war with them. If you're trying to spray them, they'll just get nasty. They think that you're starting a nuclear war with them.
Well, that's what somebody suggested.
Yeah, well, they'll come after you, boy. They'll say, there's that lady with that spray bomb. Get her, get her, get her. So, yeah. Sounds like you're going to have an exciting time.
They found a place to crawl into my house.
Oh, well, that's not very good. Yeah, I did have that happen, and I actually took the ceiling down, and it was from one not from one floor joist to the other. It was totally full of cone. It was really quite amazing. Yeah, so yeah, if they're in your house, that's not very good. Absolutely.
By the windowsill, they crawl in.
Right. Well, maybe plug that hole. Yeah. So have you tried talking to them? Have you tried to do the woo-woo stuff?
I don't know how to do the woo stuff.
Well, first you have to be not in war with them, and then you have to love them for who they are and why they're here, and then you have to make peace with them, and then you have to have a conversation with them, and you have to have some alternative to what they want to do. So, for example, if they want to get inside because they want to get into your compost, or you have fruit on the counter or whatever, you have to come up with an alternative thing to take them to. You know, maybe it's for me, it would be like, okay, there's lots of plums on the ground underneath the plum tree, go there, right? Don't bother me over here. You've already been fed over there. So there's agreement. You can have all the plums over there, but don't hassle me here.
Unfortunately, the plum tree was chopped down. So.
Well, there you are. See, and now they're upset because you chopped the plum tree down and now they don't have their sugar. Anyway, think about it. Think about it, because you're gonna meet every wasp in the world if you try and fight them.
And here's my other issue.
Okay, other issue.
I would like to go on my vacation.
Yeah.
I'm being held a prisoner in this country now.
You're a prisoner in this country. Well, you have to take an inner vacation, right? You have to go inwardly and travel. But I know what you mean. Yeah. So.
But I want to get out, go visit.
Well, if you could wave a magic word, where do you want to go, Valerie?
Pardon me?
Where do you want to go?
Back to the island.
Back to the island.
Go visit my girlfriend or something.
Right, to Jamaica. Yeah, well, I would come with you. I've never been to Jamaica, but I hear it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yes,
I need a bit of sunshine and beach.
Beautiful family, of course, like anywhere else, you also have the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish you well with all of that.
I didn't mean to cut Val off, but I wanted to go through the other 6 signs of
Okay, we're going to cut you off. We love you, and we're going to say goodbye. And may you have your passport to wherever you want to travel in the world. Bye for now.
Yes, you too. Have a great week, both
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
Just
Yeah,
a
so
quick. Yeah, go for
I
it.
just realized that, you know, about 6 signs pending.
Yeah, I know. Go for it.
Okay, so quickly, I just wanted to say, if you're a Gemini, today and tomorrow are great days for actually doing something to make yourself look fantastic. So Geminis should totally indulge themselves today and tomorrow. In something that's very like physical, and that makes them just feel fantastic. So what a great, you know, what a great
your stuff.
What a great job to have for a Gemini. And if you're a Libran, what you need to do, kind of like Val, although I don't think Val has a Libran ascendant, but Librans need to be trying to plan some kind of a vacation if they can, or think about maybe where they might like to go when this COVID craziness is over with.
Right.
Librans also, if you have a Libran ascendant, should start thinking about maybe going back to school or taking some kind of course to elevate your consciousness. And if you're an Aquarian, Aquarians need to fall in love today.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's such a lovely, sexy day if you're an Aquarian. So for today and tomorrow, Aquarians, you have my full approval to go out there and just slay someone with your attractiveness and your magnetic appeal.
Wow, yeah, just go for it. Yeah.
Okay, and finally, let's do the water signs. If you have a Cancer ascendant, you need to go into the sacred today and tomorrow. You need to cut down on the noise and all of the pollution and just find some peace and tranquility. And you absolutely must do this in the next, 36 hours.
The inner journey.
Oh, totally. And if you're a Scorpio, Scorpios need to be doing something that involves how they are processing crisis and dealing with their catharsis. Scorpios are in a very, very wonderful time right now to be dealing with trauma and healing that trauma. So anything you can do, phone, call, make an appointment to see a therapist, call Tyhson, call myself, we'll give you some help. But Scorpios definitely today and tomorrow, that's what the universe wants you to do. And last but not least, for Pisces, they always go last. I'm sorry, but this is for Pisces rising, Pisces ascendants. You're very much needing to stay home and do something around the house today and tomorrow. Don't feel the need to go out and dazzle the world. It's a very interior kind of Piscean day. It actually suits you really well. It's a day to just stay close to home. And, you know, if you want to do something to create more beauty in your home, do that today and tomorrow. So that's my little cosmic tips to keep all the signs, the rising signs in tune with the CPS, the Cosmic Positioning System.
Oh, I love that. And we have a little note here from Oz, who says she's Aquarian. She got a little prayer thing like this and lots of hearts. She says, I'm in love with myself.
Oh my God, Oz, that's so perfect. Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. Today is for Aquarius rising. But if you have an Aquarius ascendant, you have to go out there and just, like I was saying, it's universal love today. It's that feeling that we're all connected.
Yeah, it's important. Oz, you've been through a lot, and it is time to love yourself unconditionally. Absolutely.
Yeah, like basically take yourself as a lover. Like that's the idea. Like love yourself as if you are a lover.
Yeah.
Falling in love with you today.
Yeah, hot bubble baths with your rubber ducky, yeah, and more beyond. Yes, I agree. Yeah, that's wonderful. So don't forget, you too can phone in. I know we're nearly at the top of the hour. We got 5 minutes to go. We could probably squeeze in one more phone call, 1-866-369-7464, toll free in North America. And don't forget, this is your show. We love to talk together and talk about astrology and deep clearing and doing the deep dive and how to bring magic into your life, right? Or the sacred, yeah, excuse me. into your life. It's important because otherwise it can be pretty dull and boring if you're just sticking to the normal agenda of fear on this planet that seems to be reigning supreme as
And
family.
you know, Tyson, why would anybody want that? It's like, why would anybody want to hang out in fear when they have access to all these incredible states of enlightenment and inspiration that's available to them now? Like, why would anyone want to go back? Like,
Well, that's
that
true.
just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, who wants to go back to what they call normal? Like you said, you made really clear on the show today that the physical is where we get tested, right? To see how we're doing on the inner realm. And in the inner realm, if we're in the 0 point by reading her cards every morning, so we know what's up on planet Earth, then we can be balanced in our day, be in the 0 point and deal with whatever is coming our way. And we're living in a totally different dimensional reality than the one that is overwhelmed by fear and control. So
And
it's
if
your
anything,
choice.
and if anything, if the fear takes you, you know, into catharsis, that's good. I would say that's great because, you know, I think we all have to die to some part of ourselves that are getting hooked into all of this craziness that is generated by the society we live in. And I encourage everybody to die to that part of themselves and literally be reborn. Be reborn to this ecstasy, this inspiration that Tyson and I represent. That is just so much better way to live.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Krishnamurti said, and I actually took it literally, unless you're prepared to die in the moment, you're not fully alive. And that's really, really true. The biggest fear we have in the physical plane is death. And once you face the fact that there is no such a thing as death, in fact, for those on the other side, they think we're the ones that are dead because we're numbed out, not in our feelings, right? So, you know, there is no death. There's only transition. So once you face that ultimate fear, what can happen to you? Job or no job or whatever? The worst is death. And what do you mean? You just get liberated from this plane and you're with all the other dimensional awareness, right?
If anything, I've really come to realize, and I realize this all the time, is that I'm constantly in the flow. I'm constantly in process. Like there's no perfection. It's just I'm a constant, you know, piece of art that's constantly being reworked. I feel like I'm a Van Gogh. You know, Van Gogh actually went back and back and back many times. It could take him sometimes 15 years to paint a picture.
Have you ever stood in front of the water lilies? It is absolutely transfixing. They got it in a curved room like this, so it's almost 180 degrees. Oh my good God, it's amazing, right?
I have a book of all of his paintings and his etchings. Just fabulous.
Me too. Me too.
I just love it. But really, guys, we're all in the flow, and that's what we're all about. We're in the flow, and just know that, and that's why I love, you know, that's why I specialize in moon astrology and lunar eclipses, because the moon teaches us, right? Especially as a woman, I've learned that that's what it's all about. Constant change, constant flow.
And as the Mayan says, at this time of great transformation and change on the planet, don't try and stop the flow of the river. Just step into the river and be carried by it, right?
Yes, how lovely.
So we're at the top of the hour and we're going to say goodbye for this week. I have a brand new show for you on the horizon, a pay to play where somebody really gets chosen, yes, from the inner sanctum. You'll have to be on Zoom and you're going to get half an hour with us both, breaking you loosey goose. And we came up with it, the value about being $300, somewhere around that. So yeah, it's a lifetime opportunity. So not only going to be costing you a subscription, we don't know what that subscription will be, but we will stay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, yeah.
We'll figure it out, Tyson.
We'll read that card for the day and figure it out. All right, bye for now. Same time, same place.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
See you next week.